He then darkened the room and positioned the angry one thank you Stacey Abrams shirt facet on his comparability microscope, overlaying the marks from his take a look at cuts with the marks discovered on the particles. He would tilt the sunshine supply to the facet, he mentioned, to light up the ridges and valleys, to observe the circulation of that shadow line out and in of the striae. In a dramatic video presentation, one of many first of its form within the nation, he confirmed the jury precisely how he made his matches. The video began with a nonetheless body, a break-up display screen of the ends of two items of wire. On the proper was the wire O'Neill had lower utilizing Genrick's red-handled needle nose pliers. On the left was a scrap of insulated wire from the unexploded 1989 bomb discovered outdoors the La Courte Motel. Then the digital camera started to zoom in. At 20 instances it's a regular dimension, O'Neill mentioned. You're starting to see some options of the topography. It has contours. Because it zoomed to 40, then to 80. He defined that he needed to take away the sunshine's filter and produce its angle down to see the shadows. He pointed to two traces a few quarters of the way in which from the highest of the display screen that ran parallel to the angry one thank you Stacey Abrams shirt lower. And also you merely discover two traces just like that in dimension and form and observe them by way of and see if the remainder of what you have got falls in place. He testified that this alignment was so unbelievable that Genrick's software will need to have lower the wire within the bomb, to the exclusion of some other software on the planet. He then proceeded to match Genrick's wire strippers to a wire discovered on Valentine's Day bomb website and matched his yellow-handled slip joint pliers to scratches on the distinctive coin brand end cap fragments that had been discovered on the scene of the feedlot bombing and that had sliced by way of the aorta of Dolores Gonzalez. When Nicelinic first noticed this proof, she was involved. I believed it was going to be a science, she says. Barely 5 toes tall, with a pixie lower and turquoise cowboy boots. She talks quickly and barely sits nonetheless. She is a tiny girl who takes up the house. In preparation for trial, Nicelinic scoured the skilled journals printed by forensic practitioners to try to perceive the method. Angry one thank you Stacey Abrams shirt, tank top, V-neck, sweatshirt and hoodie, tank top, V-neck, sweatshirt. Nicelinic had majored in Angry one thank you Stacey Abrams shirt switching to latest research. And she or he had labored because the chemistry and physics laboratory coordinator at Mesa faculty earlier than going to legislation faculty. So she was acquainted with primary scientific ideas resembling experimental design and statistics. She understood that simply because Genrick's software had made a selected mark, that didn't show it was the one software that might make that mark. The wire strippers and pliers in Genrick's toolbox have been extremely frequent. Nicelinic mentioned she owned a pair. So how may the examiner know that the marks have been distinctive to this set of wire strippers or that set of pliers? To her shock, Nicelinic may discover no scientific research to again up the Angry one thank you Stacey Abrams shirt claims O'Neill was making. There was no standardized protocol to be adopted. There have been no standards for what number of factors of similarity constituted a singular match. It appeared to be simply O'Neill's subjective judgment. Then Nicelinic found that O'Neill had not submitted most of his take a look at cuts into proof. The Decide, infuriated upon studying this, held O'Neill in contempt of court docket. O'Neill had determined over 50 cuts have been of little or no worth as a result of they didn't match. I believed. They only lower and lower and lower till they get one which matches. Nicelinic says. She Angry one thank you Stacey Abrams shirt recollects turning to her co-counsel and saying, "Holy shit, this isn't science. It's simply not science. It's like voodoo." although she was satisfied the sector was voodoo. Nicelinic adopted authorized protocol and requested an impartial evaluation of O'Neill's work. It's a science that's questionable, she explains. However, you must rent someone that believes in it to advise you about it. A group of 2 different examiners got here to look over O'Neill's work. By the point they arrived, he had already arranged the proof for them, marking his matches with blue dots, a follow that might bias any examiner's evaluation. However, the different examiners solely agreed with O'Neill's match to Valentine's Day bomb. All the opposite marks they mentioned have been inconclusive. These conflicting outcomes bolstered Nislanic's instinct that the method was unreliable, so she selected a dangerous tactic, not simply to problem O'Neill, however, to query the premise of his complete discipline, one which had been accepted into court docket because of the flip of the 20th century. She referred to as Don Searles, a math professor in the native college who was unfamiliar with evaluation. Nicelinic dispatched him the few papers she may. Other products.